Hello everyone and welcome to my Rune Knights review. Now first I want to say I noticed that this game is in very early access where even some of the maps look unfinished, and this game already has a lot of microtransactions and skins for weapons, which in this type of game I feel like it's just stupid. The cool looking weapons should be like legendaries that are hard to get from like the bosses that you fight, not in the microtransaction store, you know, where you can get them for $3, $5, $10. Some of the skins in this game already are $10, and let me just tell you, the game is $10, so you know you can buy the game for $10 and then you can get a skin for $10. I don't know, I don't like microtransactions in like 90% of games. Some games do microtransactions just fine, but otherwise, you know, microtransactions just give me a negative, bad taste. You know, before even playing the game, I'm already like, wow, microtransactions. Anyways, as always, let's get into the description of the game. Rune Knights is a cooperative action RPG focused on customization, crafting, and combat. It's funny that it says customization because, again, there are microtransactions for customization. So I feel like if it's focused on customization, you probably shouldn't have customization and microtransactions. Customize your character's aesthetics, stats, and gameplay as you battle through procedurally generated and handcrafted levels. Now, they might be procedurally generated, but most of them end up looking the same and they just look unfinished. As soon as you start the game, you get to make your character with a simple character customizer, character creator, whatever you want to call it. Not that many options here, but it is better than nothing. If you like to make your character, you will be able to do that. Just know that there's not going to be that many options for you. The main customization in this game is basically your skills and your armor sets and your weapons. So once you have your character, you start the first mission, you kill some enemies, and then you get to the boss, you kill the boss, and you get some loot, you get some beginner loot, you learn some of the mechanics, and then you go into town, and you learn some of the mechanics of the town, like there are shops, and there's a blacksmith who will give you different missions. The missions that he gives you are pretty basic. They're pretty much like, kill this amount of enemies, or clear this dungeon, and when you clear this dungeon, you'll unlock another new dungeon, and then the next mission will be, hey, clear this dungeon, which you're already going to do anyway because you don't want to play the previous dungeon. So I wouldn't really consider them missions. I would just consider them, you're going to do this anyway, so might as well get another reward. And dungeons like the forest and the ice place, I actually forgot the name of the ice dungeon, but stuff like that, and the cave, they have a randomly generated map. They look the same pretty much every time you play them, but their layout in the rooms and stuff will be a little bit different when you play them again. Also, enemies, as you're running into the different rooms and stuff, enemies will spawn in as you enter their trigger area, but they spawn so quick and they just spawn basically on top of you. So as soon as you walk in the area, you're all of a sudden surrounded by enemies, which sometimes just feels unfair, especially when, like, you know, 15-20 enemies spawn and you got some big ones with a lot of health, and they just kind of all spawn on top of you, circling you, smacking you in the face, beating you with their giant clubs and stabbing you with their swords, or throwing fireballs at you. Enemies have a chance to drop loot when you clear out a group of enemies or you kill an enemy, and sometimes when you kill a group of enemies, a golden chest will spawn in the middle of the room and you can break it open with whatever weapon you have to get some more loot. Unfortunately, sometimes the loot gets stuck inside the chest. It just kind of like glitches in there and you can't get it, so you have to wait until the chest disappears to then grab some of the loot if it gets stuck inside the chest. Also, I think managing your inventory kind of sucks because all the weapons just have an icon of what it is. So if it's a sword, it just has a sword icon, or if it's an axe, it has an axe icon, and they'll be in different colors like white, green, purple, purple, which is fine, but then it's just a plain black icon of the weapon instead of like a picture or something. So it's kind of hard to tell what is what in your inventory when you're trying to sort it. It's like, is this my old weapon because this new one is trash? Where's my old one? Or, you know, what is this weapon? What does it look like? You can't really see until you equipped it. So I think the weapons need to have like pictures and colors, I guess, if you're gonna do that kind of thing. Like orange is legendary, but I think it needs something other than just the simple black icon where you can't really tell what it looks like or what it is until you equip it and then you see. Also, to see if the weapon is even better than the one that you currently have, you have to hover over it, which you do on all games, but then you have to, you know, look at both weapons and be like, okay, which one is better? Even if they have like the same thing, like if they both have health, it doesn't say, hey, this health is higher than this health. You have to check, say, oh, this has 108 health and this has 208 health, so this one's better than this one, so I'll move that, instead of like something like in Borderlands where there's like a green arrow or something, or a red arrow telling you like this is worse than this. I understand like if this item has a stat that this item don't, but if they have the same stats, you know, show what numbers are higher just like pretty quickly with like some red or green or something. There are a ton of abilities in this game, which I like. I like the amount of abilities and just a game with a lot of abilities. There's fireball, electricity, invisibility, summon bear. You can summon spiders. There's a lot of abilities. I'm not going to be able to go through all of them, mostly because I don't know what a bunch of them are called. But there's one of my favorites is you kind of I have this axe and you can kind of shoot lightning from the axe and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's like having Thor's axe and you can like summon lightning. And it's pretty powerful too. There are also multiple skill trees which are like separated by colors, and you unlock the colors as you level up, and the upgrades basically give you different stats like extra health, swing this weapon faster, movement speed, stuff like that. Every time you level up you get 1 point. Anyways, moving on. The combat is okay, but just okay. Sometimes hits aren't detected, or sometimes hits are detected when they shouldn't be detected. Mostly that happens with range attacks. Sometimes the big boss that throws like these bomb things, I'm not really sure what you want to call them, but he throws these like purple bombs that explode. Sometimes they'll just hit you through walls and like knock you back a little bit, which is just weird. Sometimes I feel like ranged attacks shouldn't hit me when they do, and sometimes I feel like a melee attack should hit when they don't. Or sometimes your character just gives up completely and he doesn't even want to attack, but you still have to wait for the cooldown to eat before you can attack or use that ability again. So sometimes you'll use your ability, and if you get hit at the same time, or your character just doesn't feel like doing it, you know, it says that you use the ability and you still have to wait that 8 seconds, but you did not do a single thing. And while we're talking about ranged weapons, let's talk about bows, because I think bows in this game are useless. I picked up a couple and I tried to use them, but they're just completely useless in my opinion. I think they need to shoot, I think the fast shooting for the bow needs to be the main attack for it, and then the long fire, the long built up shot needs to be like the secondary attack, because you need to shoot that thing like way quicker. You're just way too close to enemies at all times because they practically spawn on top of you for the bow to be any useful. So just change the bow, make it more useful, make it shoot faster, and the long and the you know, the arrow where you pull it all the way back, make that the secondary attack instead of the primary attack. This game does not look great at times, and I think it's mainly because just the maps and the areas that you play in just look unfinished and unpolished. So that, I think that's part of the reason that this game doesn't look great, is because it just looks unfinished and unpolished. It could possibly, it could probably look way better, especially because it's an Unreal Engine game. If the map had more decorations, they didn't have these like huge stone walls around the entire map. Every single map has like these huge, they're not like actual stone walls, they're like you took the terrain tool and just like raised the ground all the way up to build like a wall around the entire map. Get rid of those. I don't know what else to put there, but just get rid of those. Those are unnecessary and make the map look worse. And if you gave the game a little bit of some post-processing effects. This game has some good melee sounds, particularly the axe sounds. I like the axe, but it's also mainly because I use the axe. I didn't really listen to many others. I didn't really care for the swords or the wands or the, well, staffs. They're not wands, okay? This isn't Harry Potter, they're staffs. But I do like the axe sound, and I don't know, just something about it hitting enemies is a little satisfying. I think it's mainly based on the sounds. But this game needs more ambient sounds, you know, more sounds going on in the background. And it needs some good background music while fighting. It needs some action music. It has some music in the game, but I think it needs some better action music when you're fighting some enemies, especially when you're in a boss fight or something. As of right now, I don't recommend this game. It's only $10, so the price isn't really that bad for what, you know, for what is in there right now, I guess. But to me, this game is just very unpolished, unfinished, and it needs a whole lot more of development that needs to go into this game. The game is said to release this year in June, or at least that's what it says on the Steam store page. It says it will be releasing this year in June, so I'm sure that's when it's going to be coming out of early access, unless you know, it gets changed. But I'm not sure if that's enough time to finish this game, because the UI needs improving, the enemy spawning needs improving, the maps need to either be redesigned if they're finished or be finished. The enemies need to not spawn on top of you every time you walk into different areas, so you know, you just don't get surrounded instantly and you're automatically at a disadvantage. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you guys think about this game and this video, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because you want to be subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time.